Hey there, gang. We're continuing our exploration of the different clans of Tarkir, and this week I learned that mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. Let's play some head games. Friends, opponents, people who just celebrated a significant achievement in their life, I see you and you're amazing. Great work. I'm Jet, and this is Head Games Arena, and today we are in pursuit of real power. And by that, of course, I mean we are playing a Temur Power Matters deck. So, for the uninitiated, Temur is a 3-color combination, green, blue, and red, associated with the plane of Tarkir. And here, the Battlecrier is a shining example of what Temur stands for. So, for blue, red, and green, you get a 4/3 Orc Ranger. During your turn, spells you cast cost 1 generic less to cast for each creature you control power 4 or greater. So Temur Battlecrier by itself makes every other spell you cast on your turn 1 generic cheaper. So if you've got more creatures that have 4 power or greater, this ability starts to stack, and if you have more than one Battlecrier, it stacks even more. It really kind of gets explosive, as you can imagine. So what do we do with Temur Battlecrier? Well, we try to survive the early game with interactive spells like Into the Floodmaw, Torch the Tower, and Abrade. Abrade's uniquely useful in the current standard. We also play Spectral Denial for a couple of counters. You'll find in the gameplay today that this turned out to not be the best card. It is probably worse than it looks, and it didn't really look that good to begin with. Probably not a great include in the deck, but I'm trying to show you what I was actually playing with today. Llanowar Elves to ramp us early and maybe get us to a turn 3 play on turn 2, because 3 is where we really start to work. That's where Battlecrier is. That's where Outcaster Trailblazer is, which draws you cards when other creatures power 4 or greater enter. Spinner of Souls, which when other creatures die, gets you the next creature in your deck. And then as we go up the mana curve, we've got Cactus Folk Sure-Shot, which gives your other creatures power 4 or greater, trample, and haste. So it makes it so you can have these explosive turns where you go Trailblazer into Battlecrier, into Trailblazer, into Sure-Shot, and then all the other creatures other than Sure-Shot get haste. At the top end, we've got our friend Vaultborn Tyrant to draw us more cards and gain us life when it or other creatures with power 4 or greater enter. Overlord of the Hauntwoods, just as a very mana efficient 6/5, that when you're casting it for 2 mana, having a 6/5 creature that probably draws you cards with Trailblazer and also ramps you is pretty remarkable. And then finally, 1 copy of Dragonhawk Fate's Tempest, which also cares about creatures power 4 or greater. If I could, I would play with more copies of this. I've only got 1 in my collection. I didn't want to burn any more wild cards on this card, but I think it's actually very, very good in this deck list. So again, the game plan is survive the early game, get our Trailblazer Battlecrier combo out, and then get as many big creatures onto the field as we can to try to swing out for the win. So before we head over into the Dragonlands of Tarkir, I want to remind everybody, like, subscribe, leave comments. Any of that interacting with the content helps us out in a big way, and we very much appreciate it. So with that, let's play some head games. Ooh, Kikoku. It's a nice Speldigriff you have there. So I'd like to tell you all a story to start out our time together today. The story about how I just recorded 6 games in a row without the game being on the screen, so I can't show them to you at all. So, not a great way to start our day, but we have a Llanowar Elf and 2 interaction spells with 4 lands. Clearly we will draw action, right? That's how this works. I feel like God's greatest fool right now, having spent a half an hour recording video that you will never see. Suffice it to say that it was going very well. So yeah, this Temur Power Matters deck, it can be very explosive, but it's also really contingent on having just the right cards in your hand. And I know what you're thinking, Jet, you could say that about any deck, but it's uniquely true about this one. So what is our friend doing, and why are they playing with the sleeves that we should be playing with? Okay, let's start with a Mana Dork and see where we go from there. Did our opponent mull? They did. Plains, Hinterland Sanctifier. Not so bad. We'll play our next fast land and say go. Drawing a land was about the worst thing that we could have gotten. Essence Chandler deserves a counter, I believe. Sanctifier gets in for one. Probably. We appear to be having internet connectivity issues. Maybe it's me, maybe it's my opponent. They are far too busy being virtuous to show up and play their life gain deck in a fast manner. It's important. Oh, here we go. Our opponent's doing stuff. Attacking for one. Okay, Abrade is an interaction spell. We're just going to go ahead and hit you back for one. Because there's no point in me leaving up the blocker. Third land for our opponent. Cat Collector. Okay, so I think that gets the Abrade. Hold on. Oh, make a food. I see. Okay. So I think we can kill the Cat Collector before the life gain occurs and stop the token generation, but they do still get a food. And we're okay with that. We would like to draw some action at this point, meaning big creatures. Okay. Trailblazer will do. I bet you can. I bet you can do this all day. Yeah, Trailblazer's just better if you plot it. There's no real benefit to just playing it out this turn when I can Essence Channeler for our opponent. Yeah, that's fine. At this point, we hold the Into the Flood Maw until it's like really... We can wait. We can wait longer. It's okay. Yeah, the Essence Channeler's big now. We've got the most valuable answer to it in our hand right now, so... Do we play the Trailblazer? Yeah, we're going to go ahead and play the Trailblazer now. We waited, and it doesn't matter now, so... No attacks for us this turn. So the Essence Channeler actually gets too big for us to interact with almost immediately. So... And our opponent's probably playing Sheltered by Ghosts. Why would you target that? So now I fizzle their Shelter and I reset their Channeler. That's like best case scenario for us. Bat is okay. You gain another life, you get in for 2. Yep. Yeah, you get 2 more. So, not a land, please. Any 4-power creature would be excellent. Torch is good too. Don't love how this is going. Okay. So we torch the Channeler. They can gain a life in response, but it doesn't stop it. It's remarkable that this is the wrong half of the deck problem, right? Yep. You gain your life, torch the tower, gets rid of that. Lots of life gain for our opponent, 3 more damage for us, and our opponent's up over 30 life now. I forget what the magic number is for the ley line. I think it's actually just 7 more. So, yeah, we're no blocks from us. Oh boy. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of interaction when there's actually... I won't say that there's very little in this deck, but it's really... There's a whole lot more big creatures than there are this kind of interaction. Yep, there's a Johnny's Pride Mate. We will do our very best to torch that. The long and winding road. Another bat for our opponent. Swing in for 3. No blocks. Now we're playing the top deck game. Are your top decks better than mine? Let's find out. Spinner of Souls is a huge draw. Temur Battlecrier is also a fairly good draw. We'll take another land, and we will hit you back for 4. Now we've got decent blockers, so there's still... They have hot draws as well. We're just in a better position because the stuff that we draws us more cards when we cast it, as long as they don't... Ooh, as long as they don't get rid of that. Beautiful. It's very good for them. Everybody? No. Just the flowers. Okay. Yeah, we do it now. I can't believe we drew all of our Torch the Towers. Spinner draws us another card. Overlord for 2. Vaultborn Tyrant for 3. Think we can safely attack with the Battlecrier? We're not out of the woods yet. Now we are. Yeah, we'll block with the Spinner. That's probably it for our opponent. We don't have lethal on board, so we're gonna take some game actions. Overlord. They see what's coming. What win? I did... Well, that win. It took us a while, and we played against a deck that was having a very hard time, but... So here we are again. Very, very similar. Like, this is interact.hand, you know? I think we keep it. Like, I like having hands with a lot of interaction to get started. Yeah, we'll play the pain land to get ourselves started today. Temur for our opponent. Unpainful blue-red land for land number 2. Unpainful green land for land number 3. Greenland? Comments in the chat if you're from Greenland. We're going to counter that. I really meant for X to be 2 there, so... Yeah, let's go ahead and get our Cactus Folk down. Because it makes the rest of our creatures hasty if they don't deal with it, and I think at Ward 2 they're going to have a hard time dealing with it. We don't really know what they're doing just yet, but they only have 3 mana to work with, maybe 4. So do they take their whole turn to get rid of the Cactus Folk? You're going to take your whole turn to put it back in our hand. I will replay it and play our land for turn. They missed a land drop, which is pretty big for us against that style of deck. Okay, Spinner of Souls. They can kill the Spinner. They're going to kill the Spinner. You got it. Okay. Intimidation campaign. When this enters, each opponent loses a life. You gain a life and you draw a card. When you commit a crime, you may return this enchantment to its owner's hand. Okay. Untap land for our opponent. Not good. Not good at all. Where are all our big creatures? Yeah, we're going to go ahead and play the elf. I don't see a great reason not to, other than giving them a target. Double intimidation campaign for our opponent. Sure has been a minute since I've seen this card. They miss another land drop. Yep, I had a feeling that was coming. This is actually probably a pretty good argument for not playing the elf, is that it turns their cut downs on. Our opponent's discarding the hand size. We're playing a land and getting in for 4 because we are drawing nothing but interaction. Intimidation campaign again for our opponent. It feels like a very slow engine. Like if they can't get rid of the sure shot. There's another land for us. And we will attack for 4 again. Go ahead, opponent. Do you have the edict effect? You may exile the cards in our hand and return intimidation campaign to your hand. You got it. So Torch cannot go face. Feels sketchy for our opponent to do this way. They really ought to leave up interaction here, because if they don't, and I draw a creature, they're in actual real trouble. Wow. Another land. Cease again? No? Okay. Cornucopia is fine. Draws you gains you 2 life, and then you gain another life. Okay. So this is it. Wait. A braid to destroy an artifact. Any creature. Actually, creature with power 4 or greater. Creature with power 4 or greater. Creature with power 4 or greater. I cannot believe that. 2 games in a row where we've drawn all of the interaction and practically nothing else. Counter? Ooh, jeez. Really wishing these torches could do something else now. Wow! Wow! Remarkable. Tyrant. Yeah, let's hold it up. I'm very interested to see what they do here. And very interested to see like what else is going on in their deck. Yeah. You got it. Okay, Abrade the Maze Mind Tome. So the Hawk wins me the... Oh, they have two. They have 2 lives, so the Hawk doesn't... Wow! Wow! This is the most tedious game I have played in an incredibly long time. There is no excuse for our deck to have fed us such an enormously large amount of lands. I hate to concede at this point, but that feels like the way the wind is blowing. I'm not even going to plot this, I'm just going to say go. Amazing. Yep. Yeah, there's a very real world here where my opponent overreaches and gets caught. By that. So they've got mana up for a counterspell here. I think I have to go for it. Like, I don't think there's really another option here. I cannot believe I just drew another land. Okay. I guess I could have plotted it. Okay.
For the sake of Phyrexia, I will keep watch.
You got it.
I pull one thread, and your entire mind unravels.
One, two, 3 mana available. Okay. I mean, I understand why they did that. I do think that it's a fair choice. I should have plotted this last turn. It was probably at least a little bit of a mistake. Come on. I cannot believe that. Like, just one more creature and I'm off to the races there. You gotta bounce it again? Yeah. Yep. I'll take it. Yeah, we're gonna go again. Do I have enough? I don't. Okay. So where am I at? 18. Oh my god! That's amazing. I mean, just amazing. This is the jankiest thing. What do I have left? 17. Okay. Vaultborn Tyrant. Land. Amazing. Leyline of the Void. Yep. I mean, this is the definition of control here, because it's very much at this point like they're just gonna grind us out. You know, if they draw their other Jace, we just lose. I don't think there's any hope of us winning through combat damage at this point, so... Spider really doesn't matter. No point in attacking. Yep. Our opponent's having a real good time here. This is the most remarkable game I've played in a very long time. Like, this has very much felt like what you expect a control deck to play out as.
Phyrexia showed me that
I'm gonna make him do it.
flesh.
You got it, buddy.
I will shatter your mind.
And we died a mill. Ooh, wait, hit you for 6? I remember you. Please don't hit us for 6. Yeah, this will do just fine. Apparently, this opponent just plays on the ladder around the same time that we do to record our videos, so we have seen them at least once. I remember this name because it is remarkable. Alright, we'll start with Copperline Gorge to keep up the torch the tower. Okay, Shivan Reef to add blue to our mix. Our opponent misses a land drop. We're going to plot an Outcaster Trailblazer. Okay. What kind of blue-black deck are you playing? Is it a commit things to the board kind of blue-black deck? Are you going to take the turn off to do something? You're going to play Chase. Very cool. If we draw an untapped land, we're in business here. Plus for Jace. Millets for 9. We just lost to a mill deck, which I don't feel great about, obviously, but... We just lost to the most tedious and convoluted mill deck I've ever played against. Okay, -2. Well, now we can kill you with Torch. Okay. Okay. We're gonna say green. We'll get blue from this, and we'll play Temur Battlecrier. That draws us a card, and it allows us to play Outcaster Trailblazer for 1. And we can get a red from that to torch Jace. Now, I don't think they can do us an enormous amount of damage with only 3 lands. Even with 4, they could maybe take out 2 creatures. But even if they, any combination of them taking out 2 creatures still puts us in a decent position next turn. Okay, Battlecrier is what they choose to take out. I think I cannot imagine them winning from this position. Okay, Battlecrier. Draw 2. Soul Spinner. Draw 2. Get in for 8. Our opponent missing land drops really set them back here. 4 mana gives you 2 removal spells. Gotta take the Soul Spinner. Well, you just lose, right? Okay. Let's play it out. Take out all my Soul Spinners. I will be kind. Oh, I don't even have to. I wonder if anyone's ever considered you a bit of a tyrant. That's an anagram. Okay. Counter, a braid, double Trailblazer. Think we can make this work? We'll start with Gorge. I don't know if it matters too much in what order we do this. We haven't seen Mono Red yet today, so we're due. Reckless Lackey. Okay, Sanctum is our second land. This allows us to either counter something or abrade something. I like the idea of abrading something because Spectral Denial is definitely better later. What else do we have? Exuberant Fuseling. So all goblins, right? And we're definitely looking to get counters and do fun stuff like that. I guess I can take out the Lackey at this point. That might not be right, but we're going to do it. Yeah, no damage for us this turn. We're going to move our game plan forward, take a beating, and see if we can proceed from there. 3 mana for our opponent gets them Howl Squad Heavy. A very good hit for our opponent. Okay. Trailblazer. Getting green. Nope. It's interesting because it looks a whole lot like Arrow was trying to keep up Spectral Denial. Unfortunately, Torch doesn't kill the Howl Squad Heavy because I don't have anything to sacrifice to it. That is it, unfortunately. So the good news is we do have Torch and Spectral Denial up, so depending on what they try to do here, I have ways to interact with almost everything, and I'm pretty sure that we trade an Outcaster Trailblazer for that Howl Squad Heavy if they choose to attack with it. Here we go. What puts tokens on this? This creature, for each oil token, when this creature enters, interesting. I think we have to let the first one go. Oh no. Oh no! Oh no! I really messed that up again. Yeah. Oh, Spectral Denial has absolutely proven itself to be very bad. Yeah. Feels quite warm in here. Perhaps I need to turn the AC up a little bit more. Okay. See, I say how bad it is, and it gives me more of them. We're on the play. We can keep this. I just I really want this card to be better than it is, but it's really only good when you're already really far ahead. That's the problem. Is that in that moment where you need it to counter a spell the most, it almost never does. Like I needed to counter one of those Witchstalker Frenzies, and it just didn't. It'd probably be better off being more abrades or more honest to goodness removal. We're gonna get the spinner down. You know, our opponent is on the draw here, so they are not as scary. I just need to get to, I need to get to a kind of more stabilized position. I like that our opponent is taking their time. Although it may just mean that they're having internet connectivity issues. I mean, their Tiger isn't even rendering very well right now, so there's probably something wrong. Oh, they found their second mountain. There it is. What do you do, opponent? Do you lightning bolt my Spinner of Souls? You play a second Swift Spear and you attack. And we do not block. Yep. Monstrous Rage is a fair and balanced magic card. Okay, another land is really big for us. Okay, can I... The answer's no. Can I play a Fleshcrafter and have a mana left up? The answer's no. So I think that means that I play the other Llanowar Elf, and then I say go. What is next for our opponent? So 4 spells left in hand. They already deployed the Monstrous Rage. I've got Spectral Denial for 1, 2, 3... Yeah, for 3 right now. Because I've got 1 creature with power 4 or greater and 2 available mana to put into X. So I have Spectral Denial X3. Or I have 1 Spectral Denial X2 and 1 Spectral Denial X1, which could matter. I think we're going to counter that. Honestly, I could have let him play it and blocked it. I think it's better to use the Spectral Denial when I can get away with it, when I know that it will actually counter something. This is unfortunate for our opponent. Oh, hold on. Other way around. Do I actually want the elf to die? I don't. That's fine. Spinner here. Felonious Rage for our opponent. We are also going to counter that. Too much. Alright, the big chief is here, so everybody look busy. On the play, elves into Battlecrier, elves into Spinner of Souls. Decent options here. A fair interaction spell. Our opponent is again playing with the sleeves that we should be playing with. Is that Ureni? Is that the Temur dragon? I think it is. Might be the Sultai dragon. It's been a minute since I've actually had somebody get the cut down against us. So here's our second land. Let's hope that we draw a third one. Duress takes out probably Floodmaw, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. And both of our spells are going. Okay, we drew our third land, so do we play Battlecrier or do we play Spinner here? I'm not really sure. Because the question is, which one do we care about dying less? I feel like the upside to having this survive. Let's play the Battlecrier. It incentivizes our opponent to remove it, but if they decide to take the turn off to do something else, okay. I expected as much. Fourth land for us. We'll just keep playing out creatures. And you will keep removing them, I imagine. There you go. Look at that. 5 interaction spells. How do you feel about this Llanowar Elf? Slasher's bad for us. I'm gonna copy their Slasher. Oh boy. There's a Bloodletter. Yeah, we don't get ours back, so... Interesting. Okay. It's not a great draw, but it's not a bad one either. There's another Slasher. Bloodletter hits for 4. Yeah. I think we have to put the Bloodletter back. I'm not sure if it makes more sense to get the Slasher down again. We're on the rope here. Cut down. Bloodletter. One shot. There we go. Good game. Let's let him do it. Excellent. We never had a chance. Alright, this is it, folks. Just me versus the other fellow of the same age as me. Terrible. So, I don't have anything that costs less than 3. I've only got 2 lands in my hand. I can't keep that. This is better, but it also doesn't do what I need it to do. I'm getting a little frustrated. The deck has not been particularly good to me. We're going to pitch the Denial because I think it does the least. Chivalry for our opponent. We'll play a Llanowar Elf to go into their Torch. Okay. Sarkhan for our opponent. Makes a treasure. We'll play a Spire Bluff Canal into a Spinner of Souls. Roiling Dragonstorm for our opponent. Okay, so they are on at least Grixis Dragons, maybe more than that. So I'm seeing lots of different colors here. Okay. Okay, killing Sarkhan actually seems like a pretty good start. So my options are get Cactus Folk Shore Shot down, which is actually a really solid card. The problem is they've got a dragon-based board wipe in hand. And that they get another land, they can play it for 3 next turn, which wipes both my elf and the spinner. But if I've got Cactus out, let's do it. Talk myself into it. Bring it with spinner. Because, honestly, I think it's going to die anyway. So, if they decide to board wipe for 3 here, they have to get an untapped land in order to do that. But if they decide to board wipe for 3, then I get at least 1 trigger off a spinner, and I still have Sure Shot in hand. Okay, our opponent is thinking about playing that dragon. Interesting. Okay, they missed a land drop, which is definitely not great for them. So from here, I attack with the two big guys. They block because they're planning to wipe the board anyway. So do they have enough to do it for 4 next turn? I get 2 triggers off a spinner if that happens. That does kind of set us back to the Stone Age a little bit, but They also have to draw and play an untapped land in order for that to happen. We gonna squeak out a win here? I mean, taking out the spinner is a good move here. So best case scenario for us is they do nothing and pass the turn, and then I draw an untapped land, play Dragonhawk, and win. Sarkhan Soul of Flame. He does not count as a dragon. Invasion of Tarkir. It's the spinner. Yep. Yep. It's very good. We're gonna put that back in your hand. And take our turn. Untap land. That's okay. We get it for 8. I think we've got it. It's not really what we built the deck to do, but... Actually, they can't even do the board wipe. Good night. All right, friends and opponents, how did we do today? Well, 4 and 3 on camera, a very mediocre performance from this deck today. There's a lot of things that I could say about it. I will start by saying I tried to kind of move this list around and try different things with it, different interactive spells. We saw on camera that Spectral Denial really kind of let us down a lot. I would definitely remove this from the list moving forward. Do I think that there's a more streamlined version of this? There's a more combo-y version that tries to get Ugin out, because it is a completely generic card, so you can actually end up making it cost 0 under the right circumstances. But that is really Magic Christmas Land. It's tough to pull off. So I was really going for a more mid-range power matters strategy. Unfortunately, like if you're in mid-range in standard right now, this just is not the color combination, because it doesn't have a lot of ways to just straight up remove a creature once it's gotten too large. Into the Flood Maw was the best version of that I could come up with, and it is just a temporary thing. So not being able to remove things outright really makes it hard for this kind of deck to hang with the meta. Again, I will say that I really love Dragonhawk in this deck, and if I had more copies of it, I would definitely run more. Obviously it's legendary and it's top end, so you probably wouldn't want too many. I definitely had a version of this deck that had Terror of the Peaks in it at some point as well, but I just played a Terror of the Peaks deck a couple of weeks ago, so I didn't want to try to do the same thing here. Obviously I'm a huge fan of Vaultborn Tyrant. This card's just very powerful. If you can cheat it out or get it out for cheaper, it's very good. I probably should just be running more copies of this, so I would add some more Vaultborn Tyrants, some more Dragonhawks if I could. Overlord, while it's good, is probably not actually doing what the deck wants to do, so I might shave these down for more copies of Dragonhawk, more copies of Vaultborn Tyrant. Not sure about the Fleshcrafter either. There are scenarios where you cast it for 1 and it feels really strong, but a lot of the time it's not really doing what you want it to do necessarily. So there's room for this deck to grow. I'll just say that in the standard meta right now, I don't really feel like this is something that could ever be competitive. But take it out for a spin, see if you like it. It can be a lot of fun. So before we wrap up for today, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, checking out our channel, seeing what we're doing over here on Head Games. I want to encourage you to go and look at our Commander content, either our podcast where my friend Zombie and I talk about Commander, or sometimes we post Commander gameplay, either curated or just the live play that we do with other folks on Spell Table. So thanks again for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, leave comments down below. Let us know what you think about the content. If there's things that you would like to see, different kinds of decks, I'm definitely always open to feedback. So thanks again for watching. Take care of your head. I'll see you next time.